show that behind every successful man, there is a woman, there is a man. I'm her date today, so when I go away, the clerk will step in for me, but clerk, I know your limits. You're a temporary date. I was the one who was asked to be her date today. I want to congratulate all of you, my sisters, on this International Women's Day, and I want to thank the Speaker for this tradition. It's a very, very important one. I've worked under women, and I've been so lucky. I don't know when I see men failing to work under women, because they treat you like they are baby. Yeah? So I've been pampered, I've been, and the level of focus. And I think President Museveni saw it fit and decided that for his percentage to grow even much higher, he had to put women in the highest positions of responsibility. So when we got a vice president, a woman, speaker, a woman, prime minister, a woman, I mean, you see, the percentage went up right away. That's a kind of focus that women give and attention that they give to their duties. Right, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I want to request the women that they don't forget us, we the boy children. We are your children. Yeah, and the moment we go rogue, then you won't be happy. So I think we start another movement for the boy child. Okay? It's, by the way, it's a very, very serious matter which we need to think about. I request that in one of these meetings, you should put focus on how best to address the crisis of the boy child. Our children, our men, we need to dig in deeper and see how best we address the concerns that they are having. Like how the men came up and supported the women movement. They supported it strongly, and I'm really, really happy to see my sisters here occupying positions of responsibility and decision making and moving the country forward. I really, really feel proud. Finally, I want to thank you for committing to support our Speaker in the next election for Speaker of Parliament. I have seen her, and when I say her, it includes me, because of the office of the Speaker includes the Deputy. We are joined at the hip in terms of how those officers are. I have seen her being judged on parameters which are beyond her mandate as a Speaker. Because we have 4 duties, you new colleagues who have come in. You have 4 clearly outlined and spelled out duties as per our laws. Representation, legislation, oversight, appropriation. When you are judging the performance of the Speaker based on those 4, during her 5-year tenure, how many laws were passed compared to other parliaments? She passed. I think this parliament has processed more laws, including laws where we were blackmailed. For example, I remember the law on fuel, where she came out of maternity leave. Okay, I remember where she was saying, go and meet the committees, and we worked in overdrive, all of us. And people are saying, no, you're giving a monopoly to UNOC. We even had minority reports. You're giving it a monopoly. These are deals. These are what? If it wasn't for that law, by now, fuel would have tripled, the cost of fuel, with the war in Iran. When we had a crisis and had to process around 7 laws within 1 week because Uganda was going to be blacklisted for financing of terrorism and money laundering, because we were already on the grey list. We are going on the verge of joining North Korea on blacklist. This speaker stood up and said we must work in overdrive. In overdrive, passing 7 laws within 1 week. Unbelievable. So, Right Honourable Speaker, on legislation, you've done a fantastic job. We got appropriation. We had very many questions to do with appropriation. The fights which were already there. But now we harmonize it. And Parliament plays a critical role. From the onset, we start engaging government. We demand that the recommendations in the budget framework paper are included in the final budget estimates. We have pushed for pro-people appropriation, from parish model, development model, to ensuring that now we put in more money in health, in security. We have done that. So I have never seen any crisis with appropriation. So on appropriation, you have 100%, Right Honourable Speaker. We go to representation. How do I calculate representation? I look at the attrition rate of Parliament. I think more MPs have returned compared to other parliaments. More MPs have returned. It might not sound good for the new MPs who say, our colleagues lost opportunities. But since you've come, we must also work hard to protect you and ensure that you return. The day a colleague loses an election is very painful, honourable colleagues. You know? We went out of our way to check on MPs who don't perform, who don't speak on the floor. We got them mentors. We were asking, we could ask the clerk, give us statistics. We want to know MPs who don't talk. And we could call them in our offices and we ask, why aren't you speaking? Why aren't you representing your people? What's wrong? Have we denied you an opportunity? Have you? Come speak. We get mentors, we give them confidence. And because of that, I don't think we have a record of a member who has not spoken on the floor. Every member, you might have spoken once or twice. We could hold sessions up to 8 p.m., up to 9 p.m., because we want people to speak. And you remember our numbers grew. You know, our numbers grew by around 48 members from the previous parliament. So balancing, having that balance, Right Honourable Speaker, you've done a fantastic job. I'm marking you now. Then the final one is on oversight. The Right Honourable Speaker, through her powers, instituted very many committees, from ad hoc committees to sectoral committees, and empowering, I think we had several ad hoc committees, we had select committees, and then we empowered the sectoral committees to dig more. But the most clear one is on how we are handling the issue of the Treasury Memoranda, which are action taken reports on recommendations of the Auditor General and resolutions of Parliament as adopted from the Auditor General's reports. Now we tasked sectoral committees to ensure that whenever they are passing the budget, they should dig deeper and ask accounting officers very hard questions. We gave you money, you didn't absorb it. Why should we give you more money? The Auditor General said, you lost money which you didn't recover. Why should we approve you again as an accounting officer? And because of that engagement, we have been able now to have more resolutions of the Auditor General sorted. But also, we have changed the way auditing has been done, the reports which were coming here. Because you would meet entities and they say, I have an unqualified opinion, which is, I'm cleared. But then when you go deeper, you find the unqualified opinion does not speak to the reality on the ground. So we have now changed it, and I want to thank our sister Esther, Faith Nakut, our chief accountant in our own circles, we have pushed that now we need value for money audit to be part of the Auditor General's reports, so that we don't only depend on financial audit. Because you see, our chart of accounts and the auditing, how it was done, they would just follow financial audit, which is looking at the work plans, procurement plans, and saying I released money according to the laws. But did it do the work? That's the question which many Ugandans were asking. I want to thank you, Right Honorable, that you pushed, and now auditing changed. We have on top of financial audit, we also ask for value for money audits that are looked into by Parliament to see whether the Ugandans got value from the money that was appropriated. To me, that's a quick accountability I can give on your behalf, and based on that, you have gotten 93%. Now, you must answer questions of the 7% which is missing. Okay? And I'm sure those are questions which you will easily answer. But also there is room for improvement. Because now, this speaker finally, by the way, she was, have you ever been dropped in the middle of the ocean? She had spent 5 years in Parliament. She becomes a deputy speaker, well knowing that she's going to get a senior speaker who she will learn from. After 9 months, the unfortunate happened, and she was left alone. She struggled. She had a new deputy. We struggled, and she steered Parliament, and she kept it steady. So I want to thank you, Right Honour. With those very many words, congratulations, and let us welcome our guest speaker, the principal judge, Her Lordship Abodo, Jane Francis. I joke with her that she's a Karachuna. Thank you. All the best. And as my sister Catherine, Justice Catherine Bamugemerire of the Supreme Court comes in, allow me to escape before women go into their issues. I thank you.